You're listening to The Audacity Effect, where bold moves, real talk, and zero permission slips are just how we do things.
We're Jenna and Kelly, two corporate pros building bigger lives on our terms and helping you do the same.
Whether you're launching something new or burning down what no longer fits,
we've got stories, strategies, and sarcasm to match. Let's get audacious.
Bold moves, real talk, no permission slips. Gotta give them my all. Nobody's gonna tell me what to do with this. There is no blueprint, just my audacity. Done with permission. My dreams might need a pivot, might need a new scheme. Call it Audacity Effect.
Before we dive in, we want to be really clear about something. This episode isn't about bashing the church. It's about unpacking personal experiences with faith, exploring the complicated relationships many of us have with religion, and honoring the process of deconstructing and, for some, reconstructing belief. Our stories are just that, ours. They're not meant to be prescriptive or universal. We deeply respect that faith is personal, sacred, and different for everyone. If you're still in the church, have left, are questioning, or somewhere in between, there is space for you here. This is a conversation about curiosity, complexity, and giving ourselves permission to ask the hard questions.
Yeah.
All right. Hi.
Hi. I missed you.
I know it's been like
Weeks, months, years.
I think we
since
should
I've seen you.
quantify it in seconds.
Oh, well, give me a minute.
We need to get a mathematician
Yeah, we do.
on here.
It's been some time, though. It's some time.
It's been a lot of time, but we are not alone.
No.
I'm not talking about the aliens.
No, not this time anyway.
Right, we're definitely in the sim. I'm going to tell you about my sim moment later.
Okay.
But we have a super fun guest with us. Chelsea is here with us today.
Oh, Chelsea Bawab. We love you.
Hi, Chelsea.
I love you.
I'm going to read her bio and make her feel embarrassed about how wonderful she is real quick, and then we're going to start talking. So we have with us today Chelsea, who is, what does COVA stand for?
Coastal Virginia.
Coastal Virginia.
Pole and movement.
Pole and Movement. Thank you. She's the co-founder and a resident. Oh, Jane of all trades. That's so she is getting ready to open is it appropriate to call it a pole dancing studio?
Mm-hmm.
Yes. For fitness, for fun, I think you do competitions like competitively.
For whatever you want it to
For
be.
whatever you need it to be.
Yeah.
Whatever you want it to be. She handles the marketing and business development. She coordinates the community events. And she is also probably spinning on a pole next to you in class. And she's very fit. So there you go. Inspiration. Chelsea has been dancing since she was 4. But she
Not
didn't.
this kind. Just kidding.
That would be a different episode. That would go back to
Not
being
that- sex
trafficked in Tractor Supply. She's like, hi, kids. I would like to use my talent for the talent show. Okay, she's been dancing since she was 4, but she didn't take her first pole class until 3 years ago. Not at 3. She began training privately with Shayna shortly after that. And I think Shayna is your co-owner.
She's my business partner.
Partner. Yep. Chelsea has performed in all 3 Warrior Mom Initiative Pole for Gold shows, and she's passionate about expressing herself creatively and challenging herself through training and performance prep. I want to hear more about what the Warrior Mom Initiative is.
Yeah.
A little over a year ago, Chelsea and Sheena started talking about the possibility of opening a pole studio in Virginia Beach. Fun. What started as a brainstorm session quickly turned into a business partnership that has brought COVA to life. She's thrilled to be a part of creating a beautiful, inclusive space for the coastal Virginia pole community. Aside from COVA and her pole life, Chelsea is a recruiter and a freelance writer. She's been married to her husband, Jake, for 12 years, and they have 3 kids, Emma, Isaac, and Eden. When she's not at the studio, you can probably catch Chelsea lounging by her pool or traveling to her next bucket list destination, or sitting here podcasting with me and Kelly.
If you're lucky.
Because she loves us. Welcome, Chelsea.
Hello.
Thank you.
Thanks for having me.
We're glad that you're here. So, what do you want to talk about? The Warrior Initiative? Did you want
I
to
just want to know what that
yeah.
Warrior Mom
Yeah,
Initiative is.
let's talk about that.
So Shayna, my business partner, her son had cancer when he was like, I think around a year old. He's fully in remission now, but she and 2 other women who are also part of the pole community here, like in Hampton Roads, coastal Virginia, started the Warrior Mom Initiative, which is like a local nonprofit, and they do mom care for moms of pediatric
Oh,
cancer
that's really cool.
kids. So the Pole for Gold show, Kelly's been,
It's so great. I love it.
yeah, we do it at the ODU Student Theater, and we do it every year, and it's just to benefit the nonprofit. So it's fun.
Cool.
Yeah. It's gonna be great.
And when is your studio opening?
We are opening October 25th. So
Oh,
about a month
that's
away.
Very soon.
Very exciting.
I was watching some of the videos where you guys are very elegant and
Oh, thank you.
and I'm making swooping motions with
Yes.
my arms, and I was
Very
asking Kelly
graceful.
if you have like a lifting pole session where it's like brutish and like
Pole
flower
power.
looking down like a spider or something, because that's like I would love to try it, but that's all I
Yeah.
got.
Yeah,
my
totally.
biceps to bring to the
Totally.
table.
Hey, there's a style for everyone.
I love that.
I went to PoleCon. PoleCon is a
PoleCon?
thing. Yes. So it was in July this year. I think.
Yeah, it was July
Was
you
we
went.
up there?
Was
Yeah.
it like Comic-Con?
Yeah, for pole. And there's literally a style for everybody. There's like a creepy style. You might like that.
I might be good at that.
Yeah, just like, yeah.
Creepy.
Mhm.
Is there like an awkward, like, what the fuck is she doing style?
There's a style. That might be for you.
Is there a no rhythm style?
I mean, acapella.
I have to show you. So my brother does well, I guess he competes.
No,
some
I've seen his
too.
videos. Kelly
Okay,
sent them
is
to
he
me.
like
Yeah,
on a scale
yeah.
of 1 to 10?
No,
I'm
he's
gonna-
great. You should bring him out and have him perform at the
Yeah,
studio.
I can't
Have fun.
wait.
Yeah, I can't be there though.
I know.
Oh,
I
why?
know.
Because it's just I just don't like to see my brother in tiny pants.
We should
I
ask him
respect.
to put on some longer pants.
I don't know if you've met my brother. He won't.
No,
He
he's
won't
not
do
gonna
it.
do that.
He's,
no.
I'm
Okay.
not gonna call him voyeuristic because that has a negative connotation, but theatrical. How about that? If I specifically said, "Hey, could you just not do that?" He'd
He
be
would
like,
say, "I'm going to
"No."
do it more."
Yes.
Yeah.
Then he'd probably come out. I don't want to talk.
Yeah. Yep.
Okay.
Okay. All right.
So we kind of want to get into it because I feel like we got a lot to get through here.
Yeah, let's do it.
So I've been thinking a lot about this and the way this country is going and all the things that are happening, honestly, just in the world. And I wanted to have a real discussion on not religion necessarily, but faith and what that looks like and what that can look like, because so many people are not in this straight trajectory, like this is what this is, what this is. And I personally am not and haven't been for a very long time. And I know Chelsea and I, full disclosure, are very good friends. And we've been walking this journey together for quite some time now.
I actually dragged you to church.
You did.
So we met when I was still in it.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
I was like on the fringe, but I was still in it
You were
because I
still
was
in it.
still trying to
Yeah.
change it from the inside.
Yes.
And I stopped doing that.
Well, we'll get
And now you're not getting called in the rapture.
No, I'm not, which is supposed to be today. If you have
yeah.
the same algorithm as me, you've seen it.
Oh, yeah.
But Jenna did not see it, so I don't know.
I don't know if that's
We're
a
not
good sign
getting
or a
the
bad
same.
sign.
You don't have a bunch of ex-evangelical content.
Well, there's that. So let's start at the beginning,
Okay.
Chels. So your dad was a theologian. Is that?
Yeah.
So
Yes,
what
it
did that look like growing up for you in the house with your dad as a theologian?
Yeah. So it's really interesting because I feel like I didn't have the childhood that a lot of, like, I literally last night was watching the documentary about James Dobson, or he was part of it. Not
Yes.
about him. It's
Shiny
Happy People. It's technically about the Duggars, I think, but
Yes,
they did
this
a
is
lot.
Season 2.
Yeah, they went pretty deep into that programming. And I have a lot of friends that were homeschooled because of that. I have a lot of people in my life that were pretty fundamentalist. I count myself lucky because my parents actually were in a fundamentalist sect of Christianity and got out of it prior to having me. So they weren't at that level. Like, I was allowed to go to public school. We were going to have a discussion about whether evolution was real before I went to science class, but I was allowed to go, right? Like, it wasn't like this, I couldn't have, Pokemon cards. Like, I had friends that's witchcraft. I had friends that couldn't read Harry Potter books. Like, it was not that extreme for me. My upbringing, I would say, like, overall, we were allowed to do things that were considered secular to a degree. Sex obviously was not on the table. Any kind of like discussions around it not happening, abstinence only. So that kind of, track, that's like a commonality with a lot of people who grew up this way. Spoiler, I had my first child at 17, so you do the math there.
Mary 2.0.
Mary 2.0. Yeah, so I did, in fact, fornicate.
Spoiler alert.
Spoiler again. And I genuinely was surprised when I got pregnant in my junior year of high school because I didn't realize how likely it was to happen because I didn't have real sex education. So there are elements of my upbringing that I think were particularly like Christian fundamentalists, but a lot of it was not nearly to the degree of like a lot of the people that I know that have a lot of religious trauma. So I think we're all at different stages of that here. I wouldn't consider myself to have like a ton of religious trauma necessarily. I wasn't beaten. I wasn't like, like all that stuff that was in the documentary. I was like, oh God, I escaped.
Yeah.
But, like a lot of the stuff about, obedience being like the most important thing that really resonated with me because I don't raise my kids that way. I mean, I want them to obey, but I also allow them to be humans and give them a lot of grace. And, so I think I was somewhere in the middle. One of the things that I think is so different about the way that I was raised from what I'm seeing a lot of Christian parents do now is I was raised to read everything. Like my dad, we don't agree on a lot of things, but to his credit, he never like dissuaded me from reading literally anything. He was like, read it all. Here's what we believe. Right. So there was that level of like, this is true, which I do disagree with now as being the right way to raise your kids. I don't like to tell them to be certain about things that I'm not certain about. But I was always encouraged to read other viewpoints. And I think nowadays I see a lot of this like fear of even like exposing kids to other viewpoints because that's bad for them or they're going to be indoctrinated. And in my opinion, like you're just indoctrinating them in your way then, right? Like
which I think is
one way or the other. They're being told what to believe.
I think that is, when you say that, that's probably one of the big things for me too. I went to Catholic school and was raised by a pretty strict Baptist family. But one of the things in Catholic school, is they were very, very open about talking about other religions. And I'm so thankful for that because it gave me an opportunity to know that there is more and there are options for more, whether, people want you to believe that or not. There are options for more and there are other ways to see things. So I agree with you. It is really scary how a lot of them don't allow their children to.
Right.
Tell me how you share with your kids, because if someone said like, I don't know, I think it's okay to just be extremely morbidly obese and never work out and eat cheese puffs all the time, I'm gonna be like, okay, well, I don't agree with that. I think that you don't have to be thin or have abs, but you should move, and it's just generally not good for your body to be that way. So I don't have kids, so I don't have this this like blueprint to. I just. But how do you sort of share? Well, this is what I believe, and so you do have to sort of construct some sort of, I'll call it like a moral framework to raise your kids in, right?
Definitely.
So how do you do that, but then maintain the balance of being open-minded? Because my childhood sounds similar to yours. Like I always knew very clearly what my parents believe. I did get to read all the books, though.
Okay.
It was this is what we believe, and I've migrated to my own beliefs. Actually, to this very controversial thing where I don't necessarily believe in evolution either, because I think that I use my logic so much that I'm like, I don't think it makes sense that just something came from nothing, because something can't come from nothing. I'm not saying it's God in the Bible and that the world was created in 7 days, but I feel like saying, oh, evolution is definitely true is the same sort of ridiculousness as saying that creation is definitely true, because we don't know. But I've gotten in many fights with many intelligent people.
We won't get in a fight with you about
Anyways,
that today.
I got on like
That's a different conversation.
but does that make sense? So like I
We
hear what
do
you guys
a
are saying.
Jenna's
Open.
conspiracy theory episode.
I would say conspiracy theorist, but I'm like, you can't, like we don't. Was anybody there? Like we don't know. Anyways, that's another thing. But what? How?
Okay,
Say.
so
Share.
let's both answer this because your kids are older.
Yeah.
So I'll go first, and then you go. I lead with questions almost always if it's an answer that I can't be 100% certain about, right? So I personally don't believe in hell anymore. We could talk about that later if you want, but I don't. I am the closest thing that I've found that I believe in is like universalism, where everything eventually comes back to oneness, whatever that means to people. For Christian universalists, it's to God. Everything, is redeemed, essentially. There's nothing irredeemable, which is pretty biblical.
Yeah.
Anyhow, more biblical than the rapture.
Yes, it is.
So, like, my son will, come to me and say, we actually just recently had this conversation where he's very into 90s music right now. He plays guitar and he knows about Kurt Cobain. And he was like, is Kurt Cobain in hell? Like, literally, this came out of like absolutely nowhere. I was just like, okay, I guess we're unpacking that today in the car, in the minivan on the way to guitar. And so that, that comes out of so many different things. Who knows where he heard it? Because we don't go to church. I don't talk about that. So he heard it from someone. It wasn't me, which is always a fun part of parenting too. You never know who's saying what to your kids.
Yep.
But I started by asking questions. Well, what does that mean? Like, why would he be there? And what does that look like? And what is that place? And do you believe that there's a place like that where people go? And, do you think that if God is good, she would create a place where you get tormented for eternity? Like, I just ask these questions, and I don't phrase it that way. I'm much more like unbiased when I talk to my kids, I swear. But I like them to think about it for themselves.
Yeah.
So I've had a lot of those conversations with my oldest because she's 15 and she is very open with me that she's uncertain, which I think is so great because at that age, if I was uncertain, I would be full panic mode because uncertainty is certain death in most of those like evangelical cultures, right? Like if you're,
Yes.
I got baptized multiple times because I just want to make sure that it was like for real. Okay. I don't know. Am I still
I don't
saved?
know. Am I okay?
Am I
Am
good? I had a bad thought about somebody last night. Hope I don't go to hell tonight.
Yes.
This is not what I want my kids to feel as they grow and as their like frontal lobes are developing. I don't think that's super healthy. So I usually just ask a lot of questions and then I tell them if they want to know what I believe, I wait till they ask me usually and then I'll say it. Hey, I could be wrong, right? Like I love to tell my kids that I could be wrong because I did not believe that my parents could be wrong growing up or that authority figures could be wrong, which is very dangerous and end up being dangerous for me. And I won't have my kids be in that situation where they think that people who are in authority over them can never be wrong. So your turn.
For the girls, so when I had Kayla in particular, I was young and I was still unsure of where I wanted to be, but things had started to rub me in a really wrong way. And that was probably the beginning of my deconstruction. And so for those that are listening, for me, deconstruction has been deconstructing what I have learned my entire life about Christianity, about faith, about the Bible, all of it, deconstructing that, breaking that all down, and figuring out what I truly believe and what was forced upon me, what I want to let go. And then the reconstruction for me has been researching and understanding and falling into a place of knowing what I know. And we talked in another episode about leaning into my knowing. And so that reconstruction for me has been leaning into my knowing, what I feel I know to be true. So with the girls, with Kayla, like I had been going to a church here in the Hampton Roads area for a little bit, and it just didn't feel right. And it didn't feel right taking her, and that's how I knew something was off, because it didn't feel right bringing her to that.
Yeah.
So what I have done, I started with her when she was about 3, is I let them ask. I let them ask me whatever it is they want to ask me. I have not forced, I don't believe in forcing my kids to go to church. If I went to church and they wanted to come, great. If they didn't, great. Like, that was a choice for them. But I never wanted to put them in a place where they felt they were forced to believe something that they weren't sure of. So I remained open for any question at any given point, and I made that very clear. Just like you, like, this is where I am, this is what I believe. What do you believe? What do you think this means? Like, how does this feel to you when you say that? How does it feel when you hear it? That's how we work through it. And so consequently, like, my kids pray. Kayla doesn't really want to be a part of a church. Kendall absolutely does at some point, and she's really searching and trying to find that now in school. And she didn't feel comfortable, and I was like, so what's your answer there? And she was like, yeah, I'm never going back there. So I just allow that openness for them, because it wasn't allowed for me. I didn't have a choice.
Yep.
I went to church. I went to Bible study. I went to Sunday school. It was not an option for me in any way. So I never wanted them to grow up with no options, ever.
Yeah. Yeah. And you had asked Jenna about a moral framework, right? Without church. And that is something that has been probably one of the hardest things for me as a parent, not raising my kids in church, is like the questioning as to, is that the right decision? But man, like, my kid in middle school won the kindness award for the entire school. Like, I'm not worried about them, because you touched on this, like, in the church, at least the way that I was raised, is that you question your inner knowing, because it could be something bad.
Yeah.
Your gut instinct might be the devil. I don't believe that. I believe that the more I lean into my humanity and my inner goodness, which if you read the Bible, you would find that everything was good in the beginning. Yeah. We were created good, and original sin is a doctrine that not every Christian even espouses to. And so that's something that I fell into a little bit with deconstruction, was pulling back. Why do we have this doctrine of original sin, and you as a baby are bad? Like, you already have a sin nature. Fully disagree with that. I think, we're all just humans. And but the more that I lean into my inner knowing and my intuition, the better I behave. Like, I don't question my natural desire to help people and to do the right thing and all this stuff, because I don't think that maybe they are covertly demons. Like, I'm not even joking. Like, that is a real thing. Like, there's this clip of I went to Region. I can say this. There's this clip of Pat Robertson saying, like, on the 700 Club, like, demons, could you be bringing them home from the thrift store? Like, this is what we were raised on, okay? To question to question our gut, because it could be wrong. It could be something bad whispering in our ear, and I don't believe that. I think that deep down we are good, and that if we raise our kids that way and teach them to trust their instincts, as long as they're not psychopaths. Like, I'm sure that there's exceptions to this rule, and get them help if they need help. But I have not seen the need to use a specific religious text to give my children a moral framework.
I agree with that completely. And I've always said, like, I just want you to be kind people, good people. And I believe that fundamentally, like, that is, I believe, is what faith and believing is being kind and being good and making sure you help others. Yeah.
Are you saying empathy is not a bad word?
Empathy is one of the best words. Yeah, no, I'm not saying empathy is a bad word. And compassion. And so modeling that that's been what's been important to me. And so we haven't gotten here yet. But when I think about modeling that, that's Jesus to me.
Sure. Yeah.
Compassion and kindness and goodness. And so I don't feel the need to speak Christianese. You know, I feel the need to be good, to be kind, and to take care of others. And that models exactly what I want my daughters to be. Like, that's what I want them to be doing. I couldn't care less if they could recite a Bible verse.
Have you ever had to translate Christianese to someone who doesn't speak it?
Oh, it's so
I
unfortunate.
like to surprise people because I don't like spew.
You're not fluent.
No, I'm very fluent.
She's
you're very fluent.
But
Okay.
it surprises people. So
You come out of the bushes at them with your...
so actually, that Bible story is being misquoted. I know exactly what happened.
Love that. Love that.
And I'll be like, actually, that was in the book of Job, and that didn't happen. Yeah, this happened before that, and let me explain to you. Someone will try and like witness to me, and I'll be like, I actually very well understand the Trinity doctrine, so please don't try and explain it. You actually just explained it incorrectly.
Yeah.
So don't use the egg example either.
That's
No,
not good.
That's not.
No,
conceptual.
I had to take Old Testament and New Testament, okay?
Same.
I had to take both.
college.
me
and
too.
then- But look, some of it is interesting. So
Yes.
where I am I don't know if I'm in the middle or just in my own little place, but what's that terrible saying? Not
Are you
throwing the baby
alone
out
on
with
the flat
bathwater.
earth?
No, I'm not flat earth. My point is, like, you just don't know. So to me, and this is not addressed at you, so don't misunderstand, but if I say I don't believe in evolution, it's not. I don't know.
Yeah.
All I'm saying is I'm questioning it. So when people are like, oh, you don't believe in evolution, what do you believe in? You don't believe in science? I'm like, no, I believe in science. My point is just we have just accepted
Sure.
evolution is the current theory, right? I'm sure there'll be a new one that comes along eventually. Just as the people in evangelical churches like they look at people that don't believe in creation like, you idiots. Of course this is what happened.
Right.
And I'm over here like, of course neither of you know. Like, these are all guesses.
Yeah.
And the logic that you use to explain why each of these is conclusively the truth is like circular in my mind, right?
It's all certainty based, and that is a really common thing that I see with I'm going to use the term evangelical because that is
Sure.
hashtag. I see that it's very easy to go in the opposite direction, right?
Yes.
And embrace the certainty of the other way of thinking without really, you're skipping the steps of the critical thinking in between.
Absolutely.
And, addressing your own cognitive dissonances exists across the board where you don't have, you don't have to confront the reality that you are a finite being who doesn't know everything. And it's easier, right? Like, certainty is easy. Certainty is no matter what side you're on.
Yes.
It feels good to know for sure when everybody around you is dumb.
I love that. Yeah. And for me, it's like if you have an addiction, like, oh, I had an eating disorder, now I just am an alcoholic. Well,
Right.
okay, but that is
Okay, but did you fix it?
Right. Anyway.
Somebody refill her glass.
But that's where, and I think going back, like, we'll divvy out of this topic, but this is just fascinating to me because even everything going on in the world, I hear people on different sides of political spectrums, different sides of evangelical or atheist, and I'm like, you guys both sound the same. You know that, right?
Yeah.
Of course. Yeah.
How, like, the atheists that are just as dogmatic, it can be just as dogmatic as the evangelical Christians.
They're both annoying to listen to.
Right. And, like, neither of you know. Like, you sound just like the person you say that you don't agree with. So how about we all just, to your point, just step back and, like, lean into our humanity, I guess, and say we don't know. And that's okay.
Yeah.
I think that's part of the human experience, to question and to be open and learn. And that's kind of where I am right now. And so some of the things I'm like, yes, I think there's some sort of spiritual thing that I don't understand. And I don't know what that is.
Yeah.
But I'm also very much in the phase of, let me go with my gut. And and I actually hadn't put together the original sin doctrine and how you're raised that. I don't know if I believe we're good or bad, but I do believe we have to make intentional choices to sort of move towards a certain space. But I hadn't associated that before you saying that for some reason with that sort of making my gut be the devil.
Potentially
or like
evil.
dictation. Right. So now, to your point, when I do the things, I'm always surprised. Like, oh, I did know. That was
right.
right.
That was the right thing to do. Yes.
Yeah. And that's like very empowering. having daughters, it's so cool to watch them do that without second guessing, because I
bet.
always
It's
second guess myself.
beautiful. Like, I'm just amazed to
Mhm.
watch them just
Mhm.
do what they know.
It's very healing
Yeah.
when you're raised to not trust yourself, to watch your
Mhm.
kids trust themselves. Like, sometimes they're idiots and do dumb
Oh,
stuff,
yeah,
and
totally.
they're but that's part of them developing an identity, and you're gonna do it either way.
Mhm. Either way, you'll figure it
Either
out.
way,
You'll
but you
do
might
it.
end up a teen mom one way.
Yep.
So
Well, and then that leans into, I think, what we talked about actually when Dr. Cartha was here. And so, again, I'm sort of piecing things together.
Yeah.
If you are raised that you're inherently evil and your
Mhm.
whole life's goal is to try to not be,
try to not be.
then
Yeah.
when you do something wrong, then you are failing. And it is
Yes.
a failure
Mhm.
that is like a moral, ethical
Yes.
failure instead of
Yeah.
a fail like Dr. Carthy's acronym, where you can learn
Mhm.
from it.
Yes,
So it's not
it's
just
not a
like,
learning
oh, I
experience,
tried
yeah.
that and that didn't
Yeah.
work out how I
Yeah.
wanted it to. So
Mhm.
I'm not
Yeah.
going to do that again.
Yeah.
Versus there
The
we go.
guilt.
The
The
guilt and the shame.
Yeah.
Like, see, they told me that was gonna, like, I gave in to the devil again,
Mhm.
and then it becomes a whole thing that it didn't
Mhm.
have to be.
Mhm.
Yeah, that's interesting. Makes sense.
Yeah. That goes into like always feeling like you need to be forgiven, right? Because the whole doctrine of the whole arc of redemption is that you are bad and you need forgiveness.
Mhm.
And I literally have a tattoo that says forgiven, guys. So I was fully bought into the concept that like I'm wrong and I need forgiveness to be right. But I'm not covering that tattoo because it's part of my journey. But I don't believe that anymore. I don't think that I need forgiveness for just being
Yeah.
a person.
I think
being-
there's a extract out of there though that
Mhm.
sometimes remembering, if you want to twist it,
Mhm.
that we are all imperfect
For
is
sure.
level setting, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
So again,
Yeah,
that's why this is
absolutely.
also hard because there's pieces
Mhm.
of religious doctrine, if you will, evangelicalism, or
Mhm.
that are there's good pieces in there.
Yeah.
They
Yes.
sort of get corrupted, as we've talked
It
about
gets
before. I think,
corrupted when
by
it's
people.
absolute, right?
Exactly.
When it's
Mhm.
absolute, you have
question
to
it.
forgive everyone, including your abusers. You have to forgive,
Yep.
sweep it under the rug. Like that's
Yeah.
where it gets
Yep.
toxic, is when it's an absolutism versus just be a good person and forgive somebody when they mess up because we're all human. Like,
Yeah.
why does it
Forgiveness
have to
doesn't
go?
mean that you're saying it's okay. And
no.
I still
Yeah.
understanding the concept of forgiveness is still a kind of, I don't understand it. If I'm
Mhm.
being, I don't understand it all the
Mhm.
way. Like I think I kind of sort of do, but if someone's truly hurt you and damaged your life, what does that mean? You're moving past it. Like if
Mhm.
you've been like assaulted or hurt,
Sure.
whatever.
Mhm.
I forgive you. What does that mean? It means I guess maybe I'm not holding on to the
Mhm.
bitterness of it, but is that really about the other person, or is that really about you?
So I always think when we talk about forgiveness, I always think that is more to do with me,
Yeah.
because that forgiveness is me letting go of the toxicity of holding on to whatever that
Mhm.
was.
Mhm.
So forgiveness, and so I'm a big proponent of like, oh, you need closure. No, I don't need any
No,
closure,
I'm good.
because this is all about me. Like
Mhm.
my heart, I need to take care of my heart. And so forgiveness is taking care of your own heart. That's always been my
Can
thing
that
with
include
it.
like cutting up pictures of that person? With
Well,
Yeah.
if you need to get there.
I think
yeah.
so.
If you're still cutting up pictures of the person's scissors, just so.
That's okay. That's okay.
I don't think there's a timeline for that.
Use scissors all the time.
Well, being raised as a Christian woman is pretty close to martyrdom, right?
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
you
Yes.
forgive, you let it go, you sweep it under the rug, you move on, you
Submit.
you do all these things
Obey.
for other people.
Don't cause them to lust. That's never
Don't
gonna
cause
be
the
my
lust.
favorite.
Cause them to lust.
Don't do
and
that.
also, if you could please, you can't lead.
Oh
we'll
no.
use you.
Don't
We'll
lead.
use you.
Oh, you
but
could
you
lead
can't lead.
What's it called? Not
The
intermission.
children's
Yes, children's church, but there was
yeah.
always the time between
The
Sunday
ushers.
school and regular service.
Oh,
Not
don't
communion
know.
hall. Think of it. What was it called?
We could not go to the same church. What is happening in between the services?
You have like a snack break.
Oh, you can leave the snack
yes.
break?
Yeah, it's a concession.
You can
yes.
just put the snacks
You can
out.
put the
Mhm.
snacks
You
out.
can do that.
Right, but there was
yeah.
like a name.
Okay.
It was just a few minutes. I think it was so old people could take potty breaks, and then there was
Oh.
always it was always sweets,
Yeah.
like lemon bars
Yeah,
and
yeah.
coffee and things. Yeah.
But yeah, like women are allowed to do the domestic things in the church, but certainly cannot have a voice.
Mhm.
And how did your deconstruction start?
That there.
Yeah, I was pretty
Right-
sure that
right
was
there.
it. I thought that was it.
Right
yeah.
there. Yeah.
Worried something's wrong with the audio? It's not. Unfortunately, you're going to have to wait till next week to find out more about Chelsea's deconstruction process. So we have lots more to get into, just too much to pack into one episode. So we can't wait to continue this conversation with you next week, Audacity crew. Until we speak again next Tuesday. Bye.